Hello and welcome back to today's American Flyer Trains. This is the front motor of the Power A unit 21922 in the Missouri Pacific 2-unit pair 21922 and 21922-1 Alco diesels. So this is the front motor. It has been completely disassembled, cleaned, serviced, and reassembled. Now I'm going to walk through the reassembly of the rear motor. We're ready to begin the reassembly of the rear motor. It too has been thoroughly cleaned and serviced. I went ahead and did a little bit of last-minute housekeeping on this one. One of the things I did was to gently wipe down these thrust plates that go in the chassis. There's no really need to polish these. As a matter of fact, you might damage them as if you polish them with, say, a brush of some sort. All I did was kind of wipe off the excess grease, and they're good to go. The other thing I did was go back and revisit the slots in the commutator, such as that one, and now you can see the brass shining at the bottom of it. But I'm never ceased to be amazed about how much carbon builds up in those slots, and Mr. Barker says that is critical to these motors is to clean those slots. Now this is the second time I've cleaned them. The first time I cleaned them, I actually pushed out sections of carbon by running a X-Acto blade down between the slots very gently and pushed the carbon out, and it came out as a continuous unit. And of course I broke those off and put them on paper or put them on paper towels. Now I went back and redid it one more time with a pointed, sharpened, alcohol-soaked toothpick. That's all it is. You can see it left a little bit of stain on the end. And this is what I was able to get out on that second wipe down of those slots. It never ceases to be amazed. I never cease to be amazed how much carbon builds up in those slots. But those can cause a short across those plates on the commutator. Some other housekeeping that was finished before reassembly includes just the cleaning of the bulb. This is a 1447, I believe, 14 volt. No, it's a 1449, but it appears to be vintage. I also cleaned the lamp bracket and serviced it, so it's ready to be resoldered back on. And again, the only reason I took that off is just the inconvenience of it dangling all the time while I'm working on the motors. I went ahead and thoroughly cleaned. I had previously disassembled and went ahead and cleaned and reassembled the truck and collector assembly, and that includes the shoe or the slide contact in its boot. I also removed the leaf spring that retensions the couplers and straightens them back out. I also lubricated them just a little bit to maximize that movement, freedom of movement on these, because I want those to snap back into place after a turn, but I also want them to be able to go into a turn very gently. So everything was complete. By the way, on these slide contacts, including its boot, which you can see there or you can see there, I removed those shoes simply by pinching them very gently with needle nose pliers near the top to free that tab that appears right there in that slot. Once I get that tab beyond the slot, I can pull the shoe out very, very gently, but I never stop holding down and putting pressure on that shoe while I'm doing this. Don't be pulling on the slide contact without putting pressure on the shoe box, not the shoe, I'm sorry. And then once that's gone, I can thoroughly clean the inside, and sometimes you'll be surprised how much carbon dust there is on the inside of those. Of course, they're part of the current. And I polished the shoe as well. So these are ready to go back on. After the chassis was thoroughly cleaned and polished to the point that I could get it while the pull-more tires were still on, I pulled the old pull-more tires out. I wouldn't exactly say pulled. I picked them off with a knife. And there's a part of one in the bag. It is very crisp and brittle, and I got off as much of it as I could to show the owner. Then I was ready to put on these new slotted pull-more tires. I thoroughly cleaned the slotted wheels and then simply set the tire down into the groove and put bonding in at every one-fourth way around the wheel. If you don't want to do that, there's other options. But by the way, this is what one of those tires looks like. It is thick, and it is designed for a slotted or grooved Pullmore wheel. This is the standard Pullmore tire, much thinner. It goes on a standard diesel wheel. And then here is one from Portline Hobbies that already has the Pullmore installed. These are available from Portline. I've used these with very, very good results. So if you're not into rebuilding these wheels, I highly recommend these. Just don't forget to get the insulator that goes on the inside.